Hello, everyone. So my name is Francesco, and we are going to talk about food again, but in a different way. So the first question I have for you is if you had a good lunch today. Did you? Okay. So are you hungry now? Or already hungry? Okay. Let's say. Usually, after lunch we are not super hungry, but let's see if this helps you somehow. No audio? Technical issue. Here it is. So what's happening now is that 99% of you should be hungry now. And that's because we are recalling some memories. So what we know about food and what we know about being hungry, actually. This is me, I'm a musician, and this is my project. I'm showing you something. Again, technically. So this is the first concert you can eat. It's a project about sound and food, and we make music with food. And we started with a question, which is how to translate the emotion of a dish into something people can experience. And we came up with this performance that involve all the senses and where our guests are also able to eat what we play. So basically we did what my Italian mom always tells me not to do, which is playing with food. And so we decided to use the sound to translate the emotion for a number of reasons. One is that the sound calls you for a memory. So usually gets you back into something that you already experienced. The sound is very accurate, so our brain is capable of recognizing the sound and to make the vision, to envision what we are hearing, and the sound is unique. So what I can experience with my ears is something that has its own character. And we know this because we had been touring around a lot. We've been traveling around Europe, bringing our performance to people and doing a lot of shows. But back a few years ago, something hit our planet and we could not move too much. So we asked ourselves how to get to people without a live performance, without a live experience. So we came up with this idea. And we started researching about audio and food in the NFT world. So what we were looking for is what was hot at the time. And during our research, we came up with a lot of things, some more cartoonish, some more like realistic, but mainly focused on the visual aspect of food. So in the food and NFT space back 2021, something like that. The main topic were how to eat in the metaverse, for example, how to collect the images, or how to certify a unique recipe. So what was missing and what we could feel as a gap was the art aspect. So the most creative part of of the cuisine. And also on the audio side, there were a lot of experience, a lot of people were experimenting, a lot of platforms were introducing the NFTs. But once again, the listening experience was poor. There was not so much interest in collecting music, except for huge artists. So for small artists, was not an option to go with collectibles. And something that was very interesting was the interaction. That was interesting at the time and was missing. So we came up with this idea. As I told you, I'm Italian, so we are like really obsessed with food. So we came up with this idea called Italian Classics, which is a piece of art made by the sound of iconic dishes. And this is what we created, basically. So a piece of art. And this is the process. Hopefully, the technology will help us. 3 videos running at the same time. So we basically chose a few iconic dishes from the traditional Italian cuisine, and we recorded all the process, all the sounds that the recipe and the cooks were making, and with these sounds we created a soundscape, so something that can calls for memory, and at the same time can become a piece of art. And this is the piece of art. The impact of this project was very interesting because it was not just art itself, but it was very well received by the press, especially in Italy, and over the social media, and every space that they could give us was being given to us. And even if there was like kind of a difficult technology involved, but what made the project interesting for the general public was that we linked it to something that they already experienced, that they can easily understand and appreciate, and it was the Italian dishes. So my name is Francesco Sarcone, and I'm an artist and Web3 marketer. And if you have any question about this project or whatever, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you very much. One question.
Do you use the whole egg in carbonara or just the yolk?
Sorry, say it again with the microphone, please.
Hi. Do you use the whole egg in carbonara or just the yolk?
So this is a trick question because there is, about the carbonara, there is this legend, like the real carbonara and whatever. I don't know if you're familiar with, but in Italy there's a fight about this. Everyone knows that there is a traditional recipe and you can't use this ingredient or that ingredient or whatever. But the truth is, there is no a traditional carbonara. We researched on the most important book, which is called Cucchiaio d'Argento, the Silver Spoon, which is the most important recipe book. And we went back like 40 years, okay? And we selected a few recipes of the same dishes, and in the 70s, they were using cream for carbonara. Now it's like something that you can't absolutely use, etc. So the traditional recipe changed over the years, So what is tradition?
Thank you.
You're welcome. But both yolk and whole eggs. So more red.
There you go. So you talked about the creation of the project, and it, as you said, was very well received. But it looks like you did some press campaign, which is not Web3. That's very traditional, marketing with press releases. And so I'm curious, what was the marketing process like? And it looked like I saw there was one or two that were like web-oriented publications, but some that looked like not. And so I'm curious, what amount of what I call front-loading did you have to do in order to explain the project as you reached out to the press?
Yeah, so we didn't reach out. That's the story. So we didn't reach out. They found out. So some journalists who were probably interested in the technology aspect, there was a boom about NFTs, and they didn't really understand. So we were doing it for a different audience, but they reached out and they say, because they could understand finally something, okay? So they reached out to us and say, hey, how come you did this thing? What is this? And the other interesting part is that some super traditional brands reach out to us and asked us to do something with them with NFTs. We end up not doing it because they couldn't really understand the point, so we were super misaligned, so we didn't do any projects with the brands. But it was interesting to see how it was like they came to us and they asked and they were interested, and this is what I found interesting about this kind of project, because it used a language that was very common to the general public, and it came to interest them. Did I answer? Okay.
What is that special something that you use to make a connection with the brand? Something that if brands don't understand about you, you will actually not do the cooperation. What is that special something that you have?
I'm not sure I know what it is, but the fact that we do something that is not very common, but at the same time it uses some elements of our daily life, and so they find it interesting, and they will want to try to get to a different audience, a different stage of their creative process, and yeah, I think that's the thing. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye bye.